this because I've been told to always record every one of these meetings. Okay, I guess Teresa, I guess we'll start. If anybody else joins in later, we'll pick them up later. Thank you everybody for joining in on the call. We do appreciate those of you guys that were able to dial in and ultimately help us try to decide whether or not we're going to be able to pull this off. I've done a quick little agenda here. For those of you that have dialed in via the web, you should be able to see it. Basically, for those of you guys on the telephone call, we have to quickly make a couple decisions whether or not to have an actual summer camp. What's our preference for a date? Because we're going to ask to see if we can, we got to set up a preference and give them a couple dates to see if we can actually get those dates, and then have a discussion about the available program if we actually go through those first two questions. So before we start, can I have a volunteer to open us up in a word of prayer, please?
I'll do that. This is Joe Morelli.
Thank you, Joe.
All right. Lord, we thank you that we get to be a part of Trail Life. We thank you for the wisdom that Mark Hancock shared with us over the weekend and for the encouragement. Ask that you will guide us by your Spirit, guide us to invest in the young men of our troops and give us wisdom and guide our conversation tonight. We ask in your name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Okay, so the first motion on the agenda, and of course we could add anything we want to this later on, but the first motion is to have move to have a summer camp, summer 2017 Southern SoCal camp, to be held at Camp Pendleton. So, let's discuss that. Let's see, do we want to do this? Do we not want to do this? And then we can move on from there. Does anyone have any discussion they would like to add? Hello, who's just joined?
This is Ron Lawson at 3304.
Hey, Ron, how are you?
Up in Santa Paula.
Yeah. Ron, we are just getting started, and we have a motion to whether or not to have summer camp 2017 to be held tentatively at Camp Pendleton. So let's discuss. Do we want to do this? I think most everybody on the call, except for possibly Teresa and Gunnar, are troop masters. So what does everybody think? Is this something that we want to see each other do?
Joshua, do you want me to give it just a little idea?
Yeah, that would be fine. You are breaking up just a little bit, like there was some feedback. I don't know if you're close to your speaker or not.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a little background.
Okay. Well, hopefully you guys will be able to hear me okay. Basically, the way this came about, in the last 3 years, we've tried to pull off a SoCal summer event in the Sequoias, and attendance has always been low because of the distance, other troops doing their own summer adventures, and other various reasons. At Warrior Game this year, we were talking with the owner of the paintball park, and he had mentioned that there is camping available on Camp Pendleton, and he started describing some of the different things that can be done and other groups that he's seen come down to Camp Pendleton and do summer camps there and the types of activities they've done. And it perked our interest, and so Mike Wyant was part of the conversation, had asked that I look into it some more and see if this could be a potential summer adventure for us, which is a little bit closer than the Sequoias, closer than New Mexico, and definitely closer to the Roundup in Washington. So that's how this all got started, and so if we are interested in doing a summer adventure on Camp Pendleton, we do have a gentleman on the phone who can then give us some information on types of events and activities that potentially could be a part of our agenda and program for the summer.
As far as Teresa, as far as actually getting on the base, what are we looking at in terms of logistics to get all the kids and the adults on the base, and do we need a sponsor there the entire time? What are we looking at?
That's a really good question. Gunnar, if you're on the call, that's one thing I did not ask or remember to ask you this afternoon. I know with Lake O'Neill we would need a sponsor. Would we need a sponsor if we coordinated through you?
No, you wouldn't need a sponsor. Any training unit, that's what you would be considered as a training unit coming in. You would schedule in. Your sponsor, so to speak, is G35 Ops Division. Once you're approved to schedule for the ranges or training areas, that's pretty much it. Your leadership is providing the oversight of what you're doing there.
Okay.
So much easier than attempting to go through Lake O'Neill. The location that we were tentatively looking at would be an area on Camp Pendleton Beach called Red Beach. If you make the drive between Orange County and San Diego County, it's the Las Pulgas Road exit.
Okay.
I'm not sure how familiar everyone is with the area.
That's what Google Maps is for.
There you go.
What kind of dates and how long are we talking? Is it a week? Is it a weekend? Is it a...
Well, that's the next question on the agenda is, we'll choose what the dates we're going to do and how long we're going to do it. But before we can pick all that and talk about program, I mean, we just kind of have to, as an area, make the decision: are we going to do it or are we not going to do it? Is it something worthwhile our time? Because it's going to require, everybody kind of pulling together. This isn't going to be something that the one or two people is going to be able to do. So if your troop is going to go, there's going to have to be some sort of a level of volunteering, and I don't know at what level, but there will be something where we'll be needing you guys to help put the rest of excuse me, let me rephrase that. Everybody that's going will have to provide some level of volunteering.
Like running a portion of the weekend? Or
yeah, exactly. Either running the portion of the weekend, or if we're going to do a shared meal, somebody will have to, whatever we decide to do, it has to all be run by the various troops. We don't have a camp staff to do it all. So,
isn't that what we did with Patrol Rally? I mean, it seems pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I think any camp we do will probably be a little bit longer than a typical weekend camp out. So, yeah, but I think you can probably think about it like the Patrol Rally. There would probably there was a little bit of back end work that we all did for the Patrol Rally that we would need a little bit of help for as well. But you can certainly think about it like that.
Right. Okay.
So it looks like Patrick Gardner from 3304 has joined us. Hey, Patrick, how's it going?
Hello, Patrick.
Hey, Joshua.
Gardner. I'm just taking notes. So, Patrick, just to bring you up to speed, we have the question is ultimately whether or not to have Summer Camp 2017. We have the ability to use the what's called the Red Beach at Camp Pendleton. We have a gentleman on the phone. His name is Gunnar, he's associated with Camp Pendleton. He's going to be able to get us on, get us access to this beach and provide us access to the facilities that they have there. So we just need to make a decision as an area of the various troops. Is this something that we want to do? And then once we make that decision, we can decide what are the dates, what's our program going to be, that kind of thing.
Okay, thanks.
So does
obviously our troop is making a motion to participate.
I have a question. How many troops are on this call? Because I'm just on a phone, so I can't see anything.
This is Joe. This is Joe, right? So Joe, we have.
This is Ron from 3304.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have 3304, 1199 is here, 110 is here, 3723, 7401, and Mark Shabbat at 4673. So I didn't count that. 1, 2.
Hermosa Beach.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, 4673. I was like, wait, what's he talking about? Oh, yeah, that's right. There's two of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 troops on the line. Now, I know 611, I don't see them on the line yet, but I know Mike Wyatt had expressed a desire to have his troop on. And I think Tom Tremblay at the other 4673 that will go unnamed, I think he was interested as well.
No,
Is
he's
that
from Hermosa
Riverside?
Beach too.
Oh, is he? Okay. All right. Well,
What are potential dates and costs? If you could, this is Joe Morelli with Troop
Joe,
110.
we haven't even decided that yet. I mean, because we
Okay.
gotta decide what the program's going to be, and we do have the next question we'll have to decide is dates, and we do have a couple of tentative weekends that we would like to do. We were looking at possibly, I think it was I'm trying to count here. It's I think a 4 or 5 day camp. So it would be like a Thursday to Monday is kind of what we're looking at. But we have a couple of dates that we can present to you. But you know, again, it's hard to decide whether or not, you know, what the dates are going to be if we got to decide first whether or not we want to actually hold the camp. Period.
Okay. And as far as the costs, we don't know. I'm asking because we're about 4 months new, so just trying to figure out, you know, for Troop 110 at least, if it's realistic for us to pull off, and definitely would want to pull our weight, you know,
Sure.
and help out.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So ultimately, I mean, if we decide to do the camp, then we can start talking dates, and once the dates are set, we can talk about program, which will kind of inform us on what the cost is going to be.
So
It's
Josh
hard to
was
it's hard to decide without at least a rough idea what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, because if we don't have the money, we don't have the money.
Right.
I mean,
I
now we
know
can
how
say, oh
much we
yeah, I
have
want to
right
do
now.
it. Then you say it's $500 a person or something. Then you say, well, no, I don't want to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Well, the only thing I can tell you, you know, leading into this is we were talking about sending our troop up to the Pacific Northwest Roundup up in Washington, and I think that one was $65
By
a
the
kid.
radio.
And that was the one that I was looking at taking my troop to. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, you know, matching or having something equivalent. I think we can easily, you know, I think for those of you guys that went to the patrol rally, I think we did $25 a participant, I think. So I think we can easily add, you know, another couple of days without really, you know, breaking the bank, as long as we, you know, we push, you know, a lot of the food costs onto the troops, so we make that part of your operating fees.
Okay.
And if you
So
could,
you're
one more
talking
time, that
maybe $50 a kid or something like that.
I mean, I think the Pacific Northwest rendezvous that John Herring has been promoting was $65 a kid. So again, that's what I was looking at. But I mean, until we actually have a discussion on program or what we're going to do, it's difficult to tell. However, it sounds like we're getting a heck of a deal on the actual campsite. So.
Well, I mean, it should just be based on cost, right? So, I mean, if the campsite costs us, you know, $150 a day or whatever it costs, then we divide that up by number of participants.
Yeah, but if we're going to have paintball, we're going to try to pay for the paintball fees. We got to pay for that. We're going to we're going to set up an archery range somewhere. We got to pay for targets and hay bales and, you know, arrows and all that kind of stuff. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But the goal is to keep it as low as possible, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, and then the troops can decide if they want to subsidize or not any element of that, or for their kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can tell you for Troop 110 what we would be in for, and then we could work back from there and see if we'd be in for it this year. Is planning for next year. We'd be all in with, you know, as long as there was, you know, 3 or 4 troops that were doing it, that we could, you know, because I'm sure the more troops involved, the less the cost. I would think that would be the case, but
within yeah, generally.
I'm not saying no for our troop for for this year. I'm just trying to find out more. Like 4 to 5 days that would be more realistic than a week long, Sunday to Sunday kind of thing.
Right.
And then as far as the activities, it sounds like there's some great options just with having beach access and paintballing as options. And then would the troops want to be interested in, each troop volunteering as far as like bringing a skill that other troops can rotate through and like badges?
Yeah, we would have to discuss. Yeah, we would have to discuss. Are we going to set up some sort of badge station, teaching specifically any of the required badge? We would have to discuss all of that. I mean, we could make the decision to have the camp. I mean, you guys are all basically representatives of your troops, right? So we could decide to have the camp, and then, for whatever reason, let's say we pick a date that, nobody, that, one or two of you guys can't make. I mean, you guys aren't like locked in. If you're saying, yeah, let's do the camp, and then for whatever reason you can't make it, or the program, ends up being $75, and you're like, oh, that's just too expensive for our kids. I mean, you're not locking yourself in. This isn't like a contract here.
Is there like so as far as the cooking and all of that goes, is that just you come, you camp, you bring everything you need, as far as your food and everything, or? We
haven't discussed any of that yet. I mean, who knows?
I'm just trying to get a better idea, because all of that factors into how realistic it is to pull it off in a month and a half or 2 months.
I think that's how.
I'm just speaking for our new troop.
Yeah, I think that's how the Pacific Northwest Rendezvous is doing it. They're asking the individual patrols to just bring their own food. But, maybe we want to do some sort of shared meal at least once, so we're all breaking bread together. I mean, that could be one of the options we do, so that would certainly add to the cost.
Yeah, I mean, it's patrol rally, every troop fed itself, which was relatively straightforward. So.
Right.
And that's how we do warrior games as well. Every troop is responsible for feeding themselves.
Teresa, is that how they did?
Is
that how they did the Sequoia camp out?
Sequoia was completely different. Sequoia was actually at a Christian camp, so it was longhouse cabin camping, not tent camping.
Okay, and did they provide food, or did the patrols end up?
Nope, it was a Christian camp, so they provided the food, the activities, the lodging, everything. It was an all-in. It was Club Med.
It was Club Med, yeah. So what do we think, guys? Do we want to call the question here and make the decision whether or not we want to do this?
I mean, I'd say go for it and see what happens. I mean, if you don't go for it, you hang up, Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's ultimately the question. I mean, this meeting gets very, very short if we all say no. But is there anybody that thinks, no, this is not something we should be doing, we should just wait until next year and do it then?
I'll share just for Troop 110, not because I mean, it sounds excellent, and for next year, you count us in. We're all in. I know it'd be great for our troop. Great to be part of it and help out. But for this year, I'd have to say no for 110.
Okay. Even if it was super affordable?
Yeah, it's just because we really, our startup plan was about January to May, and right now we're, we're probably going to have one activity and one meeting a month over the summer, but just our leadership is kind of needing to grow a little bit.
Okay.
Right now.
All right.
And our goal is to get started as a troop, be successful in that, and then progressively, become a higher adventure troop. So right now, I think it would be a little bit much for us to do it, but we're all in for next year.
Okay.
I know that's not what we're discussing though right now.
All right. Well, anybody else thinks that the area should not be doing this? So okay, so let's talk. I would assume that's a unanimous yes. Then, other than 110, I appreciate Joe. Appreciate the honesty there. So let's talk dates. I think there's a motion to have I threw this on here to have the dates of 7/27 to 7/31. And those were, and that's a preference date. Even if we all said yes, that's the date we want. We ultimately need to find out what's available from, at Camp Pendleton. But I don't know if anybody wants to look at their calendars and see what would work. I'm seeing Teresa. What do you want to summarize that chat that you sent me?
Yes, Gunnar looked at his calendar. It looks like the availability is going to be August. If we shift our dates to August 4th through the 7th, then Red Beach is open.
Okay.
We originally looked at July 27th through the 31st, but it's scheduled, as well as the 3rd through the 7th. It says he has support battalion is conducting MCCRE through the 4th. So if we shift from the 3rd through the 7th to the 4th, then we're Red Beach is open, and we can tentatively look at doing it the 4th.
What about that week prior to July 27th or whatever?
Hey Teresa, do you want to run this real fast? I need to jump off this. I got to grab a voicemail real fast.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
We had Mike Wyant, Joshua Sanders, and I had looked at the calendars when we looked at those dates, and I think there was a conflict with the weekend before. And then I know getting anything out later in August, you start running into teachers going back to school, kids going back to school.
I mean, August is kind of late in summer, right? So, relatively speaking.
Yeah. But I think when we looked at our calendars, those were the weeks
that would be the.
Because you got July 4th weekend, the weekend after that. I think there were some conflicts, and that's why we ended. Mike Wyatt.
Conflicts with Pendleton or conflicts?
No, leadership. Having people available, troops having other activities planned.
Yeah, that's always a challenge, right?
Take additional time to pull it all together too. I mean, you start pushing it up, and you're gonna logistically, trying to pull everything together like that is going to be tough, unless you got a lot of people that are willing to step up and do a lot of work. I mean, it'd be nice. Right. I mean, you may need extra time.
It's the middle of May, so I mean.
Yeah, but a lot of troops right now, May through June, are going to be busy with their Court of Honors and finishing up the year. So then you get into June and you got graduation and whatnot. So I think July, the end of July and first part of August was what made the most sense.
Well, yeah, the end of July.
Excuse me?
So we'd be talking like July, the 27th is what you were talking, but that didn't work.
Right. Originally that was the dates that we were looking, and so we gave the August 3rd through the 7th as another option, and he replied back that August 4th is available. So
August
as of right now, through the 7th or 8th.
The 4th through the 7th.
Right, so you're looking Friday through Monday, a 4-day week, or a 4-day camp.
Yeah. 3 nights, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, basically.
Right.
All right, everyone, I'm back. Yeah, so I changed the I changed the screen for those of you guys who are dialed in on the web. So we're are those the correct dates? Then we're looking at the 4th through the 7th.
Correct.
Okay.
And so the 21st to the 24th wasn't an option.
21st to the 20. Let me see.
Correct.
And I'm checking with Troop 110's leadership right now. My wife is due that week with baby number 4, so that's, you know, I'm just jumping on this. I'm just jumping in this right now, so I'm just trying to get some input.
She'd understand, man.
I don't want to commit our troop to something that I can't be part of helping out with, so I'm just trying to get some input here.
I am not available the 21st through the, what did you say, the 25th?
Yeah, neither am I.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think that's
right. Well, then that wouldn't work, obviously. So.
Yeah.
So then you're talking the 4th through the 7th as pretty much the only date.
Correct.
You want to do the 14th to the 17th of July.
And I think they said if we pushed it too far into August, I guess they're...
Right, you're going to run into all kinds of school going back. And so you have a date, basically.
Maybe I'm doing it again and putting the cart in front of the horse, but are we talking anything like Navigators Adventures or whole troop K-12 kind of thing?
Yeah, that I was going to bring that up with the next decision we got to make. You know, we do need to decide that. My personal preference would be that we just make this a Navigator Adventure thing, but
yeah.
that's just because it's a lot easier and quite frankly, my woodlands aren't that active to get it out. Now I know that I'm not the only troop on the call though, so.
We have rising mountain lions that'll be navigators by then.
Yes, you could bring in that. I think mountain lions, you know your mountain lions best, but ones that are transitioning into navigators, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, we could do it very similar to what we did with the patrol rally, where we said, fifth grade, mountain lions. All my fifth grade mountain lions will, transition to navigators anyways by the time June rolls around. So
that would make it a lot more realistic for us to be a part of it.
To do just Navigator Adventure.
Just Navigators Adventures, yeah.
Well, so
that would make sense.
So have we decided then on the date then on the 4th through the 7th? Was there any other alternatives for a specific date?
Did Gunnar know of any option on? I mean, is there other sites on Pendleton available? You talked about Red Beach, but Pendleton's huge, and I don't know what.
Yeah, but we looked at Lake O'Neill, and once you start getting into the base, you got other requirements that are.
When I check those dates for Red Beach, I kind of got limited access from my house right now for our scheduling system at work, and it just kicked me back out again to try to check something. But I didn't get a chance to check the other training areas on Camp Pendleton itself. We have over 140,000 acres of training area.
Right.
The dates for July, Red Beach was locked up with a large MEF exercise called Pacific Horizon, which is going to have thousands of people running around the beach at that time, so it kind of doesn't clear that up. The one in August, there's a unit conducting a combat evaluation, the Marine Corps combat evaluation exercise, and so, but they're on the beach until it's scheduled to the 4th at midnight, but that's only because that's the way it's scheduled in Rifness. They're actually probably going to be clear off the beach, in the morning, probably about 12, latest, 1600 right there, and then they'll be off the beach that Friday, and the beach itself and the little combat town and things like that are open currently in Rifness right now, are open from the 4th through the 7th, if not the 8th. There are other, obviously, training areas further inland into the what we call the Papat training areas towards the center of the base, up for closer to Cleveland National Forest area and Cave Springs area, the Delta Echo, Foxtrot areas. They're up a little bit higher up in elevation. Again, I didn't get a chance to check those. I'll be able to check them tomorrow, and I'm actually on my work computer and can pull up Riffmas, and it won't keep on kicking me out. And I can look for some other areas. Beach-wise, though, if you want to do a beach thing during those dates or that time in August, that's kind of where the Red Beach piece is on that. The other ones, I'd have to look, but I really can't look at them right now. Just for a quick note on cost, the use of the ranges and training areas that I control, there is no cost as far as paying a camping fee or anything like that. The only cost that you would insure or take on would be whatever you need, food and transportation and things like that.
Does that, Gunnar, does that include the other areas you were talking about, the higher elevation areas? So do you have would it be the same deal for those?
That's correct. The areas I control, the training ranges and training areas, there is the NFEs, which are non-federal entities, and that's your organization, a law enforcement, a police department, anything like that. We don't charge NFEs. We're one of the few bases that do not do that. Okay. There is no ensued costs as far as a rental fee or anything like that. MCCS, on the other hand, which is Marine Corps Community Services, which controls Lake O'Neill, paintball park, and stuff like that, there is a cost for that because they have a product they're selling. All we're doing is providing something that's guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States, and that's this land is your land.
So basically, we could keep the cost down if we went to a non-MCSU site, right? And there may be openings in the other non-beach sites. What would be the other issues moving, considering those sites?
The other sites, I just need to get on Riffmas and see what's available. I mean, there's obviously a further drive in the base itself, to get there. The area up in Cave Springs is, it's up higher. It takes longer to get in there. The nice thing about the Red Beach area, and not that I'm trying to sell it to you or anything like that, but I've had, when my son was still pretty active in Land Scouts, we camped there quite a few times. Access to it's easy. I control the training gate, the yellow gate that gets you on and off the base there. If you had people need to come and go to the site, it's a lot easier there as far as people who couldn't be there for the whole time, can only be there for part of the time or something like that. And it's also a great stepping off point for other things, like if you want to do land navigation, do some, get some miles under your belt as far as hiking and stuff like that. It does have a lot of aspects as far as that goes.
Yeah, so those are good options. But I mean, yeah, it's just a matter of the dates. We had originally thought the 28th, 31st of July, something like that.
27th, yeah.
27th. I mean, if there was another option, at least be worth considering. So I don't know. I know getting on a base. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say over the beach, but I have preference.
For what?
The beach.
Oh, for the beach, yeah.
Gunnar, what are the facilities like in terms of restrooms and stuff? We have to dig some cat holes to take care of the business we need?
Well, it depends where we put you at. It's obviously a training area, all of our different training areas there. So it's not designed as far as like Joshua Tree National Forest, something like that. There are chemical toilets at certain areas that we have set up, that the base facilitates at different areas depending on what unit's there, what's ordered. There are some that are always down there at Red Beach that are kept there the entire time that the base pays for and takes care of cleaning and servicing and stuff like that. Other areas deeper in, if you're out on, say you wanted to go on a part of your group, maybe the older boys wanted to do a hike, then it's just like any other camp, or hiking any other national forest, something like that. You've got to dig cat holes, things like that, unless you're able to time it correctly, and most can't. To arrive at an area where there is a chemical toilet or something like that.
Okay, and what about potable water?
There's potable water around, not at that particular site, but there are cantonment areas like Camp Las Flores, which is the 41 area, that there are spigots and stuff where you can go over there and get water to refill water jugs and stuff like that to resupply.
Okay. Well, I mean, guys, we could certainly table this and make a decision later on, to finding out what the availability of the other sites are. I mean, it sounds like if those other sites aren't available, though, the only option we have is the August 4th, the August 7th date for Red Beach. Teresa, am I summarizing that correctly?
Correct. For Red Beach, yes.
Could we also discuss maybe, I think this is great, could we discuss, is it possible to reserve something as far as 14 months in advance? If we were to start planning it also, so if this goes forward this year, great, but then if we were to start planning ahead for 2018 now, is that possible to even get on the schedule that far in advance?
I imagine the military would have priority on that.
Yeah.
If I could just kind of talk to that point real fast. Generally, NFEs, non-federal entities, are only allowed to schedule 30 days out. But however, pausing for dramatic effect, I'm the range control officer for the base, which means I control all that land, access to it, and all that stuff like that. So I can put a marker down and schedule under myself an area and put it down as exclusive use. And because it's under me, I guarantee all my my customers, so to speak, are not going to want to touch it because they know it's mine, and they don't want to mess with that.
Perfect.
What is everyone's thoughts on doing that?
If you're talking August, I don't think you want to be inland during August. I think you're going to want to be on the beach, unless you're high altitude with lots of trees in August. I think you're better off on the beach anyway.
How hot does it get from whoever is down there? How hot does it get inland where we're talking about at this campground? I mean, is it like 2 miles inland, or is it, it's like 90 degrees, or are we talking like 105?
It could be, Cave Springs is higher in elevation. The temperatures are a little bit lower up there. But to the gentleman's point, it does get rather warm at Camp Pendleton or in Southern California in general. The beach always has a good breeze going. The other thing you need to think about in your planning processes is that the fire danger rating, the FDR, starts rising in July and August. Anyone that's ever been around Camp Pendleton knows we light that place up like it's nobody's business from time to time to training munitions. So if you're
perfect.
on campfires and things like that, guys, we were talking earlier when we met that you can't burn a beach down. We got the Pacific Ocean there. It's a pretty good fire break. So if you wanted be able to have campfires and stuff like that, it's better to, during July, August, it's better to be by the beach where you can set up, campfires and things like that.
I mean, I'd say that August 4th through 7th is what you got. It just simplifies your decision making. That's your time slot that's available. I mean, going forward in future years, you could look at other sites. But if you got some access, I'd say go for it, especially if you got more than 30 days advance on it.
So do we want to call the question then on August 4th to August 7th at Red Beach?
I would say yes, only because you're not going to find a week that's going to work for everybody. And being that this is our first time out, I like the fact that he's saying it's easier access, it's right off the freeway. He'll have control of the gate. People, I know from Warrior games, people are going to be coming in and out at different times. So it just sounds like sticking with Red Beach, and the August 4th through 7th gives us some framework to work with. Otherwise, you know, we might be talking about dates and locations for a while.
I vote for 11.99. I vote yes that we hold it on the week of 8/4 to 8/7 at Red Beach.
For 3304, I vote yes too, with the proviso. I'm going to, once we've got a date and a proposal, I'm going to send it out to my NAVAD and current mountain lion leaders. And presently, aside from Ron, who's on the call, I really have no idea what sort of response I'm going to get. Last summer, our first summer as a troop, I proposed doing some modest summer activities and got some blowback that the guys our leaders are used to taking the summer off. So I don't want to, make a promise my leaders aren't going to fulfill. But as far as I can tell, that's as good a weekend as any. I think the 2 previous weekends would actually be worse for some leaders' schedules that I know. So I don't know what response I get, but I think that's as good as we can hope for the proposal.
Yeah, and I'm going to do the same. I have, you know, I gotta present this to my officer cabinet, my patrol leaders, for my navigators adventures, and see what they have to say. So, yeah, that's definitely the caveat, I think, for all of us.
If I could offer one more thing, and I promise I'll close my mouth and sit back here. I apologize. 27th this month, we're conducting a flag retirement at Red Beach. We got about 150 to 200 flags we need to retire. If you're not sure about the site or what it looks like or kind of the feel for it, it may be an option. Just, you know, okay, you're thinking about those dates. I can still lock them in Rithmus tomorrow at work and just have them sitting there under me, and, you know, maybe come down on the 27th, take part in the flag retirement, and then check out and see what Red Beach looks like and what the site would look like, and you can start getting your minds what kind of activities and things like that you might be able to do there.
You mean 27th of May?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that got me for a second too. I was like, wait a minute, the 27th? No, I think that would be a little too late. Yeah, no, that's a great option.
Yeah, and our troop plans on going down and checking it out, so I can always go down and take some video footage if that's allowed.
Absolutely.
Is this called McCall's Camp? I'm looking at Google.
If you find the Las Pulgas Gate, it's the gate once you almost right in between Oceanside and San Clemente. There's the Las Pulgas Gate coming up the 5, and then you'll see it. The exits off in the north and south exits on there, and you'll have the gate side on the east where the actual base gate is, if you will, and now over on the west side you'll see like some small buildings on a little low area just before it drops into where the beach and the water is. That's Red Beach.
Okay, yeah, I'm just looking at Google. It's called McCall's Camp, Pendleton, Red Beach. So, yeah, I can't see a gate particularly. I mean, yeah. How do I get this?
Just south of the viewpoint.
Okay, so do we want to move on? Did we? I think I lost track there. Did we make the decision that we want to do the 27th or the August 4th?
I think I heard at least 3 yeses.
Okay.
Yes.
Do we have any no's that that just doesn't work for their troop?
Well, for 4673, a lot of us are 3 top leaders. Our sons are going to our youth camp August 6th. So and we do 99% of the planning for the troop, unfortunately. So I'd have to ask them, do we want to take this on if we're only going to stay 2 days?
Right. What's your youth camp? Is that a leadership camp?
No, it's just our junior high, senior high kids camp.
Oh, for the church?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Well, sounds like Hermosa Beach might have an issue with it. Does anyone else have an issue with the date?
Well, I don't know. I mean, for 110, we're all in. I think our leadership would be all in for next year, and you can count us in right now. I mean, but on this one, I'm not going to say yes or no, just because any date you put out there is going to be the same for this summer.
Right.
It pretty much will be the same. So.
Okay.
But we appreciate who's on the phone that's offering this. I mean, this sounds great. This is excellent. So thank you very much.
Well, appreciate you being on the call. All right, well, I guess let's talk about program and what's available, and then we can maybe set another date to for those of you that think that you might be able to join us to jump back on the call and at another date, and we'll see if we can get this thing planned. Teresa, do you want to talk about what's possible program that we could do and see if we can move forward?
Oh, I could, but if Gunner's still on the line, he would do a much better job at describing some of the things that would be available to us. Keeping in mind, we're looking at doing a Navigator Adventurer program, so that would be middle school and up. He talked about some orienteering, some hikes, possible backpacking. There are some gun ranges, paintball park, fishing, lots of choices. It's just a matter of what do we want our program to look like.
What's the cost of the paintball?
Paintball or airsoft, that would be another discussion. It is, paintball when we do Warrior Games is $35 to $40 per person, depending on what, if you want low impact or regular paintball.
Okay.
So 40 roughly.
Yeah.
Budget.
Is that the same for airsoft? I know you had your boys had a desire to do airsoft, right?
Yeah, but we can always, we're close by. We can always come back and do airsoft another time.
Are there rifle ranges? So
there are.
Do 22 shooting and stuff, and is that, what would it take to pull that off?
Gunner, are you still on the line?
I'm still here. Two options. One, the training ranges we have are set up so a unit comes in and it provides, and we got a certified range for up to X caliber, whether it's 50 caliber, 30 caliber.
I can do 50 caliber.
Yeah, I think we're allowed to do 22.
Yeah, the ranges, those are certified up, and so the training unit, they bring their consumables, their targets. They obviously bring their weapons and their ammo with them and stuff like that. So we have a certified range it has. We know that it'll work for whatever caliber it is that you'd be used on for that scheduled range. The other option is MCCS again, and I don't have their cost in front of me, but they do. We have two ranges that MCCS uses primarily. One is the shotgun range at Skeet and Trap. They run that usually from Wednesday through Sunday, I believe, or Tuesday through Sunday. And then there's another one. It's a rifle/pistol range, and they run that generally on the weekends when the rifle range doesn't have a Marine unit there conducting rifle qualification. But again, there's a cost involved with that you pay MCCS for, either for rental of firearms, ammo, and stuff like that.
And you don't know what that rental fee would be?
I don't have it in front of me. I apologize for that.
No, you're right.
I looked that up earlier. I think it was somewhere in the vicinity. It wasn't much. It was like, I want to say it was like $5, something minimal, nominal.
Really? And that pays for weapons and ammo?
It might have been the fee, and then rental might have been like 12, something like that.
Okay. Okay, and then Gunnar, on the first rifle range you mentioned, was there a cost for us to use that as well, or is it just show up with targets, weapons, and ammo and have fun?
The any of our ranges and training areas, again, there's no cost to that other than what you're consuming, whether it's food, ammo, or water or targets, whatever it might be like that. There's a lot of different ranges out there for. Some are extreme long range for your 22s. Obviously, you don't need a scout sniper range that goes out to 1,600 meters. You need something a little bit closer than that. And there's a lot of different ranges there that can be, that if you got the folks to set them up, that would be the key on that. There's some safety personnel requirements. There's live fire and RSO. For that, but again, there's no cost to that. It's just going through the training and taking the test and passing it.
So I missed some of that. There was some feedback on the line, but did I hear you correctly? We'd have to bring our own range safety officer and everything.
Right, and that's you have to have a Camp Pendleton certified twice or so. Again, there's no cost to that though. That would simply go through the training, which I'm the one providing that.
Can you ready to join them?
Thing, which I'm providing that too. Just got to go through the training, pass the test.
Okay.
And setting up archery, we did that at our patrol rally and basically had our own bows and hay bales. Obviously, same deal, right? So.
I can get that on the base. That's pretty easy. Even down on the beach itself, if you wanted to do it down there.
Right. Set up our own archery range. Because the beach is just the beach. It's like you bring your own water. Can we bring tents?
Oh yeah. Where Red Beach is, there you can bring your own tents. The other part of Red Beach is there's it's called Red Beach Combat Town. It has, we call muffin houses sitting on it. There's quite a few of them. They're basically made out of the same material that your refrigerated door is made out of, metal and insulation. And I've had my son's Land Scout unit. They've camped down there quite a few times where they put the patrol got assigned a building that they're required to set up and maintain, all that stuff like that while they're down there running through the programs. It's kind of like a building area.
You stay in those buildings.
Correct. Yeah. They were staying in the buildings with their sleeping bags and stuff. They just didn't have to set up a tent or anything, and each one of the buildings had multiple rooms in it.
We could use combat town, in other words.
Absolutely.
Guys, as far as program is concerned, do we want to maybe consider any troops that have a senior adventurer to say, okay, let's put together some sort of program group that looks at it, and that way it's led by, or at least if not completely led by the boys, because this might be a first year for them, but at least we're getting their input on what they want to do, and they kind of build their own program out. Wow,
I think our kids would like to do that, but if they gave some guidance and guidelines and suggestions, they probably would be able to plan at least part of it.
Does anybody have, who's on the line, any senior adventurers that can help out?
By the radio.
We
have two adventurers.
Adventurers at 3304, and I'd be hesitant to say that either of them are likely to take up that task.
Okay.
Possible.
Teresa, what about your troop?
It depends on what the task is. So I would just say it just depends. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, what would they be comfortable with?
What exactly you're proposing that the senior adventurers would actually be doing?
Helping to run the camp, similar to what we had with the patrol rally, where we had a patrol rally first officer, and he was the one interacting with the with the various patrol leaders and, you know, helping to design what the program is going to be. I mean, it could be that, you know, the various Avengers we have that get on this team are like, yeah, we're sick of paintball. We do that every year. Let's do the rifle ranges instead.
Yeah, so we need to find a range master and so on. So they would be doing stuff, and they would be in on one of these calls, for example.
Yeah, we would definitely need to get them on one of these calls.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
This is Jim.
Hey, Jim.
I'm a certified NRA RSO and rifleman instructor. Additionally, I'm a fellow archery instructor too, certified.
Okay.
U.S. archery.
Yeah, I mean, archery, if you give them an assignment and they set up an archery range and run the archery range, they would do it. And they would figure out what would be needed. So.
Okay, well, where do we want to go from here, guys? Do we want to maybe set up another?
You have like 3 nights to plan, which is not insurmountable.
That's awesome.
Could we have whoever that is with the kids running around? Could we get maybe them to mute the microphone?
I'm trying. Hold on.
Thanks. I know it's bedtime, so. Do we want to set up another meeting? I mean, we've already been on this call for an hour here, so do we want to decide to come back at some point and start figuring out what the logistics are going to be and what our program's going to be? And I mean, I can put the date out on the Facebook and let all the troop masters know that, hey, we do have a date picked. We are doing this, and then see if we can get some more people on the call to try to help plan this.
I have a question. Is there any interest in having the boys backpack out of the beach, or do we prefer that all the troops stay on the beach? There's an opportunity to do that as well.
What does everyone think? Kind of like the idea. I tend to lean more south towards a big car camp, but we're not a big backpacking troop, but you know, I'm certainly open to the idea.
I'm of the same opinion as Joshua, just speaking for my troop, that it will be, I think it will be plenty to do if we are part of it to do the car camping. I wouldn't expect us to be involved with backpacking too.
Okay.
What about doing like an all-day hike type thing? Plan one day for a hike, you know. Maybe we can have access to the higher elevation areas for a hike during the day, because 3 days on the beach might be, you know, good to have some variety.
Yeah, a little much. I mean, we could set up a big orienteering course where we got to, you know, go here, go there, and we can even make it a race.
Yeah, Gunnar was saying that they already have some orienteering type courses already set up on base.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so do we want to set the next meeting for next Tuesday? That seems to be the well, when is Roundtable? Is Roundtable coming up?
No, that's the second Tuesday of the month.
That's the second Tuesday of the month. So do we want to set up another call on the 20? What is today? The 16th? How'd that happen? Do we want to set it up on May 23rd? Same time, same bat time, same bat channel?
Maybe go back to our adventurers and navigators and see what they would be interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I expect
that sounds reasonable. Yeah.
Okay. You're welcome to obviously save this the email with the connect information, because it won't change. But I'll forward it all out to you guys as well as the other troop masters that were not on the call, and we'll meet back next Wednesday, the 23rd, to start the planning
Tuesday
process.
Or Wednesday?
Did I say Wednesday? I meant Tuesday. If I said Wednesday, my apologies. Tuesday. Tuesday the 23rd.
The same access code?
It should be the same access code. unless John hearing ends up deleting the meeting and I have to recreate it. But if that happens, I'll forward out the new one to you guys.
Okay, sounds great.
Anything else we need to discuss before we adjourn the meeting? All right. So if there's no objections, I'll move to adjourn, and we'll see you guys all next week.
Sounds
Thank
great.
you, Joshua.
Thank you very much.
Gunnar, thank you very much for joining us on the call. We appreciate the opportunity that you're providing to us.
Thank
No
you.
problem. Bye.
Okay, everyone. Thank you very much, and we'll see you back next week.
Good night. God bless.
Good night. God bless.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Jim.
If you need me to forward you my certifications in rifle, shotgun, RSO, and archery, just let me know.
Yeah, it was a little hard to hear when he was talking about that because it was when there was somebody's kid was in the background crying or something. I think I overheard Gunnar say that it was there's a Camp Pendleton certification that has to be taken, and but he's the one that gives the test. So if you're qualified and you would be available to do it sometime before August 4th, we maybe send you down to take care of that.
Well, it depends on if you're going to run your own range, I think. If you're going to bring your own firearms and ammunition and targets and everything else, I think that's where you need the RSO.
So the MCCS range that we would rent, we would need that.
Yeah, they probably supply their own run their own ranges, and you just come in and shoot.
Okay, that sounds like a much better way to do it. So.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I appreciate it, my friend, and if you have any other thoughts about this, this is somehow I've jumped up to the one that's leading this, and that wasn't my intention to be in that position. So
it never is, Josh. It never is your intention.
If for whatever reason you have any additional thoughts or whatever, just shoot me an email.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much up for it. Our people.
Okay.
I mean, they're all over paintball, so I mean, just having the paintball alone would get them to go down there.
Okay.
Okay. So, but as far as camping and everything on the beach, it sounds great to me. I'm a beach person, so I'll be all over that beach. As far as hiking, the problem with hiking is it takes away a lot of your adult leadership. They're going to be gone for the day with a group of boys. So,
right.
That's, and really, are they going to, if they have a bunch of boys that really aren't their, boys, you still have to have all that too deep leadership stuff and everything going on there. So,
right.
I don't know about conducting a backpack or a hike like that on that weekend. I would say let's just concentrate on the beach and beach activities. I have a couple games that I learned when I was in a junior lifeguard program that are fun to play on the beach. So we can come up with plenty of stuff to do on the beach, and the orienteering is good.
I like the orienteering option. I don't know. I'm kind of still open on the hike. I don't know about the backpacking, but depending on the length of the hike, I mean, I may be able to make that work. But let's play it by ear and see what we come up with.
Sure.
Okay. We'll see you next week.
Okay. Have a good night.
Yep. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.